Hello everyone, welcome to Sunny Side Up. The background is the impact of my Melbourne Diaries travel series. I'm now back to covering life stories. My guest today is an engineer with a post graduation from the prestigious IIM Ahmedabad, now a brand and marketing consultant based out of Mumbai. He has had a very interesting journey of starting with the corporates and then finally moving on to his passion of writing and becoming a novelist. Please welcome my Pahadi Bhai from Uttarakhand, Sanjeev Kotnala. सनी साइड अप में आपका स्वागत है संजीव. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग मी टुडे. आपको मेरे प्रोग्राम का फॉर्मेट तो पता ही है. आई शेयर द लाइफ जर्नीज ऑफ माय गेस्ट हियर. So thank you so much for coming and joining me here to share your life journey. So let's kickstart with your story. शुरू करते हैं आपके बचपन से and the influences of those times. So over to you.
Childhood, now people put too much of thing on childhood, but I think when we were growing up, I was at a small town called Lansdowne in Uttarakhand. A small population, one single theatre, a bus stand, one single school, government school, and I was studying in Kendriya Vidyalaya over there. Don't know at that time even the word like influencer or idol ever meant anything to us. The life was happy, go lucky, go to school, come back, play, sleep, get up, go to school, come back, play. I don't think there was much. I was there till about class 4th. And so family, basically father posted over there in defense accounts, mother a housewife, elder brother who's 2 year elder. So same age group, young kids, nothing else. He was far more serious and me more naughtier within the family. And a sister who was at that time 2 year old. So that's there. Primarily, there was no games. I never no, and it's wrong to say there were no games. There were no games the way we recognize games like cricket, chess, badminton. We have seen football in school, and we have then seen kancha, gilli danda, and all those or chor police kind of games. And friends were your biggest influencer. After parents were more guidance, but friends were the influencer. If some friend said this thing is good, then that thing is good. If that is bad, then bad. If somebody tells you that the friend said his or her father said that is bad, then that is bad. Because for us, any reference was parents. We didn't have the liberty of Google. You know, today, if I tell my daughter something, she said, "Okay, let me check with Google." Us, there was no reason to check what your parents told you, because your life was like that. I remember even at that time we had a transistor at home. That's it. So interaction socially was good. In fact, me and my brother were supposed to be good dancers. Now I can't dance. We used to be called for every marriage for to dance, to do the twist. Anybody's marriage, and we would go and do that. So a small town, that was fun. And then we moved to Jabalpur, where I studied till engineering. Again, central school. But this was a big town. Big town means 100 of Lansdowne would go into one Jabalpur. Our whole area was equal to that. Friends from various communities were now friends, not only Pahadis. Okay, there was less of a caste difference as we had in Lansdowne. Well, and I think that equality built into our system, a multifaceted religion tolerance built into the system, and that is also the period where engineering happened. My 12th happened. Certain friends continued to study together. Distances were big between friends' place to us, and cycle was the mode of transport. So in a day, if one would have cycled 24 kilometers up and down, you didn't feel like it was done thing. It was done thing. You didn't expect anything. Then you realize that games like cricket happen, hockey happens, people play chess, people study. There is something called tuition. Okay, so and there is something called after school classes.
Hmm.
And schools go to zonals and they go to district for playing. All those was new language to us. And then being a co-ed school, in 10th class, I asked somebody to come out for a coffee. And I got
Wow.
a very simple answer. You are not good to look at. You are not good at studies. You are not good in sports. Give me one reason I should come.
Wow.
And I didn't have an answer. I didn't have an answer simply. But I did promise her at that time that from now onwards, I don't know about looks, I can't change. And sports were never my game. I
Hmm.
can play every sports, not to make a ass of myself, but I can never be very good in any sport. Then I said sports is not, but studies is something that is into your control.
Hmm.
And I told her that I promise myself more than you that my marks will never be less than my last exam marks. And I think that changed. That
Hmm.
that was some incident that I still remember very clearly. And then from 58% in 10th to 72 in 12th to topping the university in engineering to getting into IIM Ahmedabad, not doing the best over there, but personally better than my personal. So I think that thank God to that lady that she twisted a good kind of a knife in me, which changed my whole outlook. So I'm thankful to her in every possible way.
तो ये तो ही आपके स्कूल और कॉलेज की बातें। आपने इंजीनियरिंग में टॉप भी कर लिया है। वाओ, कांग्रेचुलेशंस। तो चलिए अब आगे चलते हैं और जानते हैं आपके आईआईएम डेज के बारे में।
Toward the end of the engineering, we realized there is something called management education.
हम्म।
We didn't know about IIMs. We
हम्म।
knew about IIT because engineers used to go and do MTech.
हम्म। हम्म।
Still happy go lucky, still
हम्म।
not planning because I don't think at our time anybody prepared for these exams that thoroughly. Or they prepared, but they were not from 5 years preparing, or they were not hellbound about their career in life. We were
हम्म।
like, कुछ कर लेंगे, engineering कर लिए कुछ तो हो जाएगा.
हम्म।
So we got from Bombay a postal uh, tuition for IIM exam. And I remember 16 December 84 was Operation Cleanup in Bhopal,
हम्म।
where the cyanide gas leak was, the whole city was dead. There was no exam other than IIM exam was not pushed.
ओह।
And 16 December, we landed in a deserted city. So youth hostel was still operative. So YMCA youth hostel we stayed in. So on 15th night, my friends were discussing like they do did maths problem, English problem, various questions, and I was not getting a single answer. I was not getting a single answer. And I told my friends, listen, there's a 11 o'clock train leaving for Jabalpur.
हम्म।
I'm going. There's no point in giving an exam where you don't know us. And you guys are showing that you know everything. So, so my friend and good friend, my friend who studied with me and still is our closest friend, Subir Biswas, told me, boss, you have wasted your father's money anyway by coming. You go today or you go tomorrow. The same amount of money is wasted. But give the exam, na? At least with us, give the exam. So we went. We went to Maulana Azad college for exam. Now look at it. When we came out of examination hall, I hear people saying, I attempted 220. I attempted 210. And I'm saying, shit, I attempted 150, 160, 170 max, and it was negative marking. So, so where will it land me? But so be the truth about negative marking, that at the end, I was the one who got a call letter from all the other students.
Wow.
And so I learned a lesson over there. You haven't lost a match till the last ball is bowled. You can't, you don't know. The only thing you can do is give the best from your side. Your best, maybe the best, may not be the best, but you give that. So I think that is where thing turned a bit. And when you went into IM, you met, so a Jabalpur Orthodox town, Kendri Vidyalaya student goes after doing agriculture engineering into IM Ahmedabad. And there he finds a student from Hindu, Stephens. You know, God, you were in awe.
Yeah.
You were like, this is not the place I can be. And in fact, the amount of study material that they were throwing at us made you wonder if this is a year thing or the week thing. And you are expected to go to library, you are expected to do the project, group assignment, study for the class. The professor is in a mood, he will take a quiz. So to me, it was like quite deafening, quite seriously something that I was not ready for. So I again once more told my friends that Baba, because we had quizzes start and there were some F's and some D's as a grades. So I said, it's time to go back home. So the seniors who know, who have gone through the process, many of them said, boss, give it 3 months. Even 3 months, you are not able to find a key to how to work over here or how to study over here. I will buy you a ticket to send you. I said, done, boss, because anyway, now you go. There's no college that will be taking you. You haven't given any competitive exam. I had given FMS where I believe I cracked all the 100 questions. No call came. So, so that was fine. And but in 3 months, your working style changed. Your body, your mind adapted to a new system that required you to work harder and still find time to do things. So this was another time where I realized that the human mind and human body can acclimatize to things very, very fast. And that's one learning that one took on, which has stayed with me for a long, long time. And still, I believe in that. There's nothing that could pull you down. And from there, because I could draw a bit and I was interested in advertising, one of the few people from my batch, not few, about 4, 5 of us went into advertising. And it started with Mudra communication, then went to Lintas, HTA, what is J. Walter Thompson at that time. And after about 14, 15 years of advertising, shifted to brand and marketing, did my corporate tenure and finished as the Vice President Marketing National for Dainik Bhaskar Group. Before starting 2014, my own brand and marketing consultancy. And that's the last 7 years that I have been doing. So this is the journey in a life that has been for me primarily few peak points, few lows, but quite a lot of friends that one believe that one has earned to live through it.
अब बात करते हैं आपकी राइटिंग जर्नी के बारे में। इसकी शुरुआत कैसे हुई?
My father was a damn good storyteller, and so he never got anything published because at that time you couldn't get published. But he had anecdote for every time, every incident, and that made him one jolly good fellow in all family gatherings. So I think there was some blood genetically one is inherited that thing to write, and one tried writing pretty early. And I must share with you one simple example. I've been a voracious reader from past. In fact, I started reading in 2014 about 75 books a year, which at the lowest has been about 50 books a year. And I also uncage books, which I don't keep, which I think I will not be reading again. I start like this week itself, I have given out about 40 books I'm giving out to people who may want to read it. But coming back to sometime in Lintas, John Grisham, one of my favorite author, I read his book where he went out of his genre, Painted House. And it really, you know, you picked up John Grisham for something. But this Painted House was, so I almost threw that book after reading something and saying, God, how can one even write like this? So I had a boss called Samir Verma who saw me doing this. And he said, have you ever written a single page? Do you know how much goes into writing a single page? अच्छा इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? ऐसे ही हमने गिटार बजा चुके थे, गाना गा चुके थे, लिख भी लेंगे. So हो जाएगा. Said okay, write a story, a short story, and take your time. अच्छा take your time क्या होता है? छोटी स्टोरी है, दे देंगे आपको अभी. He said. So what I did was, and this is something that family has a hint of, but may not know completely. So in Lintas, I took 15 days leave officially and left home for office every day. Home never knew about that holiday. And in office, closed my cubicle and tried to write. I was in office, but I was on leave. I was writing. And after about 7-8 days, I took those few sheets to Mr. Verma. And he read it and he trashed it into the can. He said, ये कुछ लिखने की चीज है? तुम्हें लगा कैसे कि ये पढ़ने लायक चीज है? बहुत बुरा लगा, वापस चले गए, वापस लिखना शुरू कर दिया. एंड देन रियलाइज कि किसी रिजेक्टेड चीज को ठीक करना कितना मुश्किल है. इट्स इजियर टू रीराइट समथिंग afresh. But any which way, came up to some standard to meet him after 12th day, and he said, हाँ यार ठीक ठाक है. तो ठीक ठाक हमारे लिए तो बहुत बड़ा सितारा हो गया था. ठीक ठाक में हम तो वैसे ही कर लेते थे, तो ये तो किसी ने ठीक ठाक बोल दिया, तो हम तो ताऊ हो गए लिखने के. But being in corporate life, you could not do many things. You could not take stances. You have to toe your company's line, and that requires a kind of a thing. So at times one felt like lid band hai. So when on 2014, I left my last corporate job and started on my own. Within a week, I started contributing a weekly column to mxmindia.com, which is a advertising marketing portal, industry portal. And I can boast and be proud that now 470 weeks have gone.
Wow.
Where I've written my weekly column without a break.
Wow. Awesome.
Then I had always wanted to be a published author and writing. Then I started writing, and then I sent it to somebody and who said, you have to add 10,000 words to it to qualify for a book. 10,000 words you need to add. That means you have to need to add a character, a thing like that and all that. So I wrote short stories and long stories, and then published my novel, Chimera of Lansdowne, about 3-4 years back. So I also realized it's easier to write about the thing you know, the place you know. So this is based on Lansdowne, and all of the geography and culture and characters are picked from them, and it's a paranormal, which is another thing that Pahad are known for.
Yeah.
So, so a good mix over there. I think borrowed quite a lot from stories that parents would have told, or people would have told you to make you feel feared in certain places, not do something. So that I published, and then I realized that writing novel was tough. I'm working on another one, Enchanting Neely, a romance.
Wow.
I realized that I will always write in a different genre. I will not repeat a genre because अब गिटार बजा लिया है तो कुछ और बजाएंगे. That track has not changed, but I realized that it is on the nth draft of that, and when I do an edit of it, I love it the day I do it. But when I read it again, I feel this could have been improved. And my heavy reading is not helping it, because suddenly I read somebody else and said my work is totally trash. And then I start re-editing. So I've given myself, I realize one thing, that certain stage a writer need to say cut off. I'm not going to see my work again. Like for you, if you're editing a program, after some time you'll say, this is the last edit. I'm willing to go. I'm willing to go imperfect. I'm not waiting for perfection, because perfection is a myth. There always will be scope for improvement. So that book I will publish within next 6 months. One of the group that I work on WhatsApp is called Insider Group. All are ex advertising, marketing, good brainy set of people. So I sought from them stories of personal and professional life, with real stories, which have impacted their life, which has made them think their approach to things differently. So I think most of the author have two stories: one real life, personal; one real life, professional, and compiled together to say a book called Life Reloaded. And once I did that, then I made that, and we were going to have our 32nd reunion in Hyderabad, the batch of 87 from IIM Ahmedabad. So at that time, I asked my batchmates to give me life impact stories, just like the Life Reloaded, and they gave. So for the batch, I compiled that, and that came under a title called Reflection. And that somewhere time I thought that being from Uttarakhand, I must do something for Uttarakhand. Being from outside, there was not much you could do. But with genes of writing and storytelling and yourself wanting to write, I started a competition called Pahadi, which was short story writing contest for writers with roots in Uttarakhand. So if you belong to Uttarakhand, or you have been working for 5 years in Uttarakhand or living there, or your husband or wife is a Uttarakhandi, you qualify to participate. And that started in 21. We published that as Pahadi 2021, The Storytellers, as the book. And this year we launched this. We finished the book on 26th of November and launched it as A Runway Suitcase and Other Stories, Pahadi 2. And after learning from my corporate and life as a writer, not writer, and other things, I realized that I work with timelines better, because even this we started in June and published the book in November. So I also announced that 2nd of June 2023 will be the registration open for Pahadi 3. So give myself a timeline to work on.
Great. Wow, awesome. Okay, I don't know if I should now ask this question because आपने John Grisham का नाम ले ही लिया है, but I wanted to check who's your favorite author and why, if you can.
Oh, my author favorite from time to time changes, because I'm one of those guys who like to read an author through and through. That used to be the habit earlier. So when I picked up Stephen King, I read Stephen King continuously. Then I read Patil's Sambhaji. And so I ordered even Subhash Chandra Bose by him.
Mm.
These are fictional accounts. Then Amish, I'm right now listening to Lanka the War
Mm.
because I listen to book on audio. I read on Kindle, but I love the physical books more on
Mm.
hand.
Mm.
So Lanka, I'm is opening my eyes to kind of imagination and detailing Amish is able to do. Initially, I grew up reading Hindi from Karnal Ranjit to Acharya Chatursen to Dhamvir Bharti to Shivani
Mm.
uh, to Amrita Pritam
Mm.
to Sadat Hussain Minto. And those authors have a brilliance which is slightly underappreciated till now. I
Mm.
think they're wonderful. And then I went into English, so got introduced to James Hadley Chase,
Mm.
Harold Robbins,
Yes.
Agatha Christie, and Stephen King to
Mm.
John Gresham,
Mm.
and then Paul Coelho. Paul
Mm.
Coelho is wonderful author,
Mm.
wonderful author. In fact, he's Stephen King. I could uncage and give it out to people, but Paul Coelho books I have still retained. I've not given it out.
So reading, writing, compiling, wow, so many interesting things that you do. Any other hobbies that you have? अपने enjoyment के लिए आप क्या करते हैं?
The enjoyment is also in wanting to do whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
So doodling is a thing that I left in between. Now I doodle quite heavily.
Mm.
And those doodle are, I think, a masterpiece in themselves.
Mm.
And I love doing it. They take about 9 to earlier. I never had time to give 9 to 12 hours for a single doodle
Mm.
or a collage or a painting. But now you decide that okay, nighttime I'm going to do doodle. So there's no pressure of a presentation tomorrow.
Mm.
Nothing that you cannot decide to wake up. Though I am much for a discipline of getting to the work table, even though I operate from home. So I'm able to pull myself by just looking at one simple belief that I can define what will be the new chapter of my life. It happened very well. And that's what is put me into thing of not asking why me. And I get energy back from my family.
Okay.
Uh, that's the biggest thing. I think somewhere we tend to underappreciate the kind of strength that you get from your family,
Mm.
the kind of positivity that you get from your family, the closer friend. I
Mm.
believe that every one of us must have a confidant in a friend circle and in the working circle, a person whom you can open up without any fear, and a person who will give you a feedback without any fear. I think those are the pillars that I use to soak in a positivity and believe in self. Uh, and it's bound to happen. So earlier it used to be like, why me? भगवान ये मेरे साथ क्यों कर दिया आपने? But now there is nothing because भगवान भी बोलता है कि यार लॉटरी चाहिए तो पहले टिकट तो खरीद ले.
Hmm.
तो टिकट खरीदे बगैर तो लॉटरी खुलेगी नहीं.
बिल्कुल.
सो अगर मेरा काम लॉटरी का टिकट ही खरीदना है तो मैं अच्छा खरीदूंगा ना, बड़ी लॉटरी का टिकट खरीदूंगा. और लॉटरी अगर लाइफ तो कभी खुलेगी कभी नहीं खुलेगी.
बिल्कुल.
बट that's a simplistic thing that I believe in. I keep in telling people, and you know that's the change that has happened to me after a realization which unfortunately happened quite late in life.
Moving on to my last segment, which I call the Oscar speech. This is your moment to thank everyone who's contributed to your life journey so far. So the screen is yours, the mic is yours. Over to you.
So parents, because they give birth to you and they are the biggest influencer. In fact, my mother is the reason of whatever my cultural or spiritual upbringing would be or whatever my core character would be. Because my father got transferred from lot places, and she stayed home with us. So she has a big influence, and thank you, mother, for whatever you have made me to be. And then immediately comes your elder brother to whom you look up to, and elder brother who can reprimand, because we are from a time where still today for me to say no to something he says is tough. Today's generation can question their parents. I can't even question my elder brother. He's a big influence. My brother has more achievement of this nature than I have. He was the one who actually was the commandant for the biggest COVID center that you had in Maroli in Delhi. The 10,000 bed center was under his command, Dr. Sanjeev Kotnala. And he has been to Antarctica and remained there for, I think, more than 12 months at a stretch.
Wow.
And the same thing I enjoy from my younger sister. So these are the first core people that are there. And then, like a true Indian family, there are Dadihal and there's Nanihal and all the uncles and aunts. And you can't take much of a risk over there, missing out. But yes, Kiran Kumar Thaplayal, my mama, who taught me about what a disciplined life is all about, what is a clockwork in life is all about. My Mosi, who taught me about what could be love and care within the family. And then more for a young kid are their friends. So thanks to lot many close friends, and if to name Subir Viswas, my closest friend, my ally in everything, my cover-up operation man for many things in my life and college time. So thanks, Subir, for that. Thanks, a lot of ladies who have taught me different things in life, not naming them over there. Teachers, a lot of teachers who have unknowingly taught you simple thing. To teacher like Anna Malai, who just by asking one question has made you think again what the life you were leading. So teachers are a main influence. And beyond them are your well-wishers and the corporate life people, where friends again come in. Like friends like Subir has been constant through the life for me, a close friend. So is Peter and Raja Mitra from corporate time. I can bounce, I can open and do everything that is possible. So it's like group of people whom I am very thankful. The family, the extended family, the friends, the teacher, the colleagues, and and somebody whom I have never interacted with, the authors and the spiritual thinkers like Osho. I'm a big fan of Osho, quite a lot of learning from him. Uh, so, so a lot of people whom I've never met, they won't even know my existence in this planet, have influenced you quite a lot. Uh, my two of my people in corporate life, thank you, Mr. A.G. Krishnamurti, and thank you, Nikhil Nehru, for teaching me how important it is to be people man, how important it is to take a lead and protect your team, how important it is to reprimand in private and appreciate in public, how important it is to give you credit to the right person, and even for something that you have done, give credit to your team. I think I think these are the people who have who I must thank. And certain people have taught you things without intention. Mostly when you learn that what is trust all about. You don't learn about trust in a very happy situation. You learn about trust in a negative situation. But thank you, even those people who have opened your eyes to various things in life. Thank you for being there at that moment Only wish you were there a bit more earlier. Okay. But you learn about friendship from your enemies. You learn about family ties and care from people who don't care about you. So I'm thankful to each and every person in my life. My wife, my loving wife, who has contributed and given me space and time. My kids, who have really are far better than I was ever at their age, to have given me this honor to be called their father. So I just enjoy. So I'm more thankful now, after so many years, after turning my attention and living life in a different way compared to the time that I was never thankful about things. So I'm thankful to that.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev, once again for giving me time. I'm telling you, even after I switch off this record button, I'm going to continue a conversation and listen to a few more interesting anecdotes from you. But thank you so much for joining me today. And that was my conversation with Sanjeev. I hope you enjoyed it. I had the most amazing time talking to him and catching up with him. I hope you will now go back and search for his novel Chimera of Lancedon, Reflections, Rife Reloaded, etc. Additionally, do look out for short story compilation by Sanjeev under Pahadi 1 and Pahadi 2, which is available on Amazon. Here's my copy. And I'm really looking forward to Pahadi 3 in June 2023. See you next Sunday with another story, another life journey. Until then, look up at Sunny Side Up.